my communication. I was needing to code switch when I incorporated technology into the mix of all of this curriculum and all of this wonderful teaching. So I had to take myself, I had the communication code switch from my voice, the blackboard, student involvement, PowerPoint, overhead. I had to, from here, the basic level, recognize what do I say, how do I say it, what's the language in the classroom when I'm instructing. The blackboard, turn to the blackboard. We're now going to write on the blackboard, go to the blackboard, getting students involved, putting them in a group, using PowerPoint to enhance the lesson for the day. So I had to take it from that and switch my code to this. PB Wiki, MySpace, BlackBerry, Diego, Retwitter, Twitter, Snapfish, iTunes, Jaiku, RSS feeds, Hash. There's different types of hashtags. Google. I remember the first time that I heard a student say the word MySpace back in, I would have to say, the May term of 2003. I could not get a perception. I could not get a picture of what they were talking about. I said to the student, "What? Where did you friends in MySpace?" And I said, "What is MySpace?" "Well, it's out there on the internet." And literally, he had to show me what he was talking about so that I could understand and bring that word MySpace into my vocabulary. So from that point on, I started trying to use the word face. When we were talking about interpersonal communication in the core course, I would say to this student, in the interpersonal section, we're talking about self-esteem. Talk to me about MySpace and self-esteem, making connections to that technology. I didn't realize back in 2003 that I was code switching, but that is what I was doing. And I remember the first time also that I heard an instructor say, I'm going to Google a student. Oh my gosh. I thought, well, you're in for some sexual harassment if you're Googling a student, because I didn't know what Googling meant. And there are still people out there who do not understand Google. So let's talk about the third focus of this presentation, and that is, how is it that I am incorporating technology into my curriculum? Well, I'm incorporating technology into my curriculum, but doing it in such a way that it's not disruptive to students. If you've heard of Turnitin.com, this is technological, and it's instructional, and it's technology. So I'm now, if you heard of this, what you are now doing is creating a database of language so that you can communication code switch when you are building technology into your curriculum. Turnitin.com is a place where I upload students' papers. I have them write sentence outlines the first time around so that I can run it through Turnitin.com, see where students are plagiarizing. If you notice on the screen, there is red to blue. Red means that they have plagiarized more than 60 or 70% of their material, and I can actually click, and once I click, it will show what they plagiarized specifically and the location from which they plagiarized. I use this two different ways. I ask them to send me their papers and I upload them, or because with Tarrant County College, our students can get into Turnitin.com. I go or that I walk them through the process of creating a username and a password, and I tell them to upload it. run it through Turnitin.com themselves, and send me a report. So I need a first time run report. They can run it several times, and a second time run report. The second time run report, they have to have made changes. If they had more than whatever you want to set it, 20, 30, 40% of their curriculum that was course material or assignment that was plagiarized. So that's one. I use Turnitin.com, and sometimes I upload their papers for them so that they don't have to create a username and password. Other times, I let them create a username and password and have them use that technology to check their own plagiarism. PowerPoint is still being used. We used PowerPoint. We've been using it for years. If you were at the National Communication Association conference, November 2009 in Chicago, there was a session on PowerPoint where a reporter from higher education attended and wrote a really great article about PowerPoint and how it was novelty. Now it's not so novelty. The novelty is wearing off. There's a lot of use and misuse about it, but we use PowerPoint in many different ways. Sometimes the PowerPoint still simplifies the information too much, and it can get in the way when it's overused. Just recently in a face-to-face class, I asked the students, I begin lecture with the PowerPoint. I introduce the topic of the day. Then we do group and peer teaching. Then we do an application exercise. Then I come back and maybe add a few more concepts. Maybe I clarify. Maybe I do some classroom assessment techniques. And then I end with the PowerPoint. But the entire lecture for all that time is not PowerPoint. I ask them, do you want more PowerPoint? Do you want less PowerPoint? Actually, they liked it the way that it was. The PowerPoint gave them structure, gave them information, but it was embedded within the lecture. So PowerPoint, that is still considered technical. It's still considered instructional, and it's considered part of our curriculum. Another type of technology that I use is Ustream. The site is ustream.tv, and it's free. This is my distance learning course, and this is Lesson 9. So in Lesson 9, I went to ustream.tv and recorded a lecture, popped it, and it is very easy, popped it into my distance learning course, and this is how it shows up for my students. So they press that sideways triangle, and I start talking. This video does not take up space on my computer space. It doesn't on the schools. Ustream stores all videos, and they do this because there's a little advertisement that pops up at the bottom. I have not found that to be disruptive to students. No students complain about it. They are so excited and enthralled that they're not having to read the textbook and continue to read every single thing in the online course, that they get some FaceTime with me that they don't even notice that. Not only in my online courses do I use Ustream in the lesson explanation